You know, we have these shows in St. Catharines that we've got planned that we're going to do in the summer. But this show just sort of came out of nowhere, and it's really nice to just be able to like have a hometown show just sort of pop up out of nowhere, you know? So I think everybody's stoked. You know, a lot of our friends and family will be here, and it'll just be a nice, sort of a nice way to kind of come back, I guess, if that's, you know, the best way to put it.
You say St. Catharines, I'll just go to this right now. Born and raised, this is a phenomenal festival that's 4 days. What has it been like kind of planning this and also knowing that you're going to be bringing this back to your actual hometown?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty cool. It sort of was like the brainchild of Joel, our longtime manager, and also from St. Catharines. And sort of, you know, we, obviously when we all grew up there, we were so thankful that there was tons of bands always coming through and playing St. Catharines. And then Scene Festival was like a great thing to go and see lots and lots of bands. And ever since we've kind of taken off and traveled the world a lot, it just sort of, it feels really cool to be able to kind of do one of these big things that we've experienced and played versions of things like this all over the place. And you know, I did sort of a version of this in Niagara a couple of times, but to be able to do it right in St. Catharines, right at Montebello Park, it's a real special feeling.
You're actually bringing a lot of people joy this year, not only with the show tonight, with the St. Catharines show, but the album, first album and studio album in 13 years. Was this always in the plan, or did something change?
No, I think the pandemic really sort of allowed us to make it. You know, we made those 3 songs a couple of years ago, and just that was sort of the plan, was we'll get together and try and write when we can, because we all have different schedules, different lives now. And being an independent band, we thought, you know, we'll put out songs as we record them. But with the pandemic, you know, there wasn't really much to do. And Wade, the other guitar player in the band, he just messaged us all one day because he was coming back to Toronto and said, should we jam? Just because it was something that we could do in a room together, you know, and we had a space that we could go to. It wasn't public also, right? So it was like we were still able to follow the rules and everything. And just because of that, we were able to really have the time to sit and just work on music with no real intention of making a record, but just because we were able to, you know. And I think the excitement and the sort of, you know, we all felt very sort of privileged in a way that we had this thing that was still there for us to do. And it just kept, the songs just kept coming and coming, and then we made a record.
When you kind of talk about, you know, not having that pressure, deadline, and all that other stuff, is that quite a different experience from the last album that we made over a decade ago?
Yeah, I think especially because when we made the last record, as much as we all love it, it was the 4th record. It was like, you know, we had exceeded all of our expectations as far as like how this band would be perceived. And but I think we couldn't help but put pressure on ourselves because the records before it were like doing well and we had record deals and stuff like this. Whereas this one was just like, we didn't even know what was going to become of the world, right? So it wasn't like we were trying to make a record and hope that we could go out and do the tour and do the whole cycle and all that again. It was literally just like, well, let's just make an album because we can, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So there was really no pressure whatsoever. It was just the most fun, creative, collaborative experience I've ever had making a record.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about it and hear that album. But do you know that the last time I actually talked to you was a joint interview with Nick Nurse, or as Fred Van Vliet calls him, Nicky Nurse.
Nicky Nurse.
So we know you're a huge Raptors fan.
Yeah.
Are you more nervous doing the hometown show or Game 6 for the Raptors versus Sixers?
I'm not nervous about Game 6 at all. I think all the pressure is on Philadelphia, and I think they know that, and I think our guys know that too. I think the way they played the other night is like, you know, they feel like they're good enough to win. I don't think that they believe it should have been 3-0 in the first place. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's Nicky Nurse, baby.
Nicky Nurse, baby. The other thing I do want to bring up, I love how on Instagram you did put up about Goran, you know, what's it been like for you following that storyline of the Nets getting swept?
It's funny. I feel like after I put that up there, I thought
it's fun.
It is fun, but also I don't think we wanted him to be here either. No, I mean, not the fan base. I mean, the team didn't want him either. They wanted Precious, you know, and then so it's like everybody, I was at the game when he came back. I couldn't believe how much we booed him. It was like, I don't think everybody realizes that like the Raptors didn't want him on the team either. They had a plan, you know, he didn't factor into it. But it is funny that he, shot himself in the foot there by saying he didn't want to come here either.
It was a great moment. The last thing I'll bug you about with the Raptors, Rookie of the Year on the team, Scotty Barnes. What's it been like for you following his journey and his impact on the team?
It's incredible. I think that when he got picked, there were so many people that because everybody just follows the analytics and that, and Jalen Suggs was supposed to be the 4th pick, and all those, all those Raptor fans that I'm glad they support the team, but there's a lot of these ones that just talk shit, constantly on everybody. They're mad at Pascal when he doesn't have a good game. They're mad at Freddie. They were mad at the front office. But I think I had listened to enough scouting reports from different podcasts I listened to that talked about how high they were all on Scotty Barnes, and he just sounded like the perfect type of guy that we like. Just all the tools, versatile, just wants to win, great attitude. You know what I mean? He's a perfect guy to have on the team. I can't wait to watch him play for the next however many years.
2022 Kia NBA Rookie of the Year.